Again, Dev, where practice makes progress, also known as practice makes permanent. Today we are going to try another Dev problem, like LeetCode problem. Point of Try Again Dev is to show that we don't start off being able to solve, two hard problems in 30 minutes or whatever. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and it's really putting in the reps that makes a difference. So let's get started. Okay, so, and again, as always, feel free to message in the chat. Let me pull up the chat just in case anyone decides to message in the chat so we can see it. If you ever have any suggestions on what we should do next, feel free to pop that in the chat. All right, so today the problem we're going to be taking a look at is threesome. This is a medium problem. On NeetCode, it is described as being a two-pointer problem. N squared, time complexity recommended, and O of one space. So that lets me know that we're going to be looping through all of the items in an array. N is the size of the input array, all right? Or like a nested for loop, I should say. So given an integer array nums, return all the triplets nums I, j, and k where they add up to 0 and the indices are all distinct. Okay, the output should not contain any duplicate triplets. You may return the output and the triplets in any order. All right, so they show an example here where they add stuff up. One thing that's interesting is the fact that the numbers are distinct, or the triplets have to be distinct. So for that, I'm thinking putting them in sorted order, and then if something is a triplet, checking. All right, so and then if the three items add up to each other, or they don't add up, return an empty array. Okay, so I set up with let an answer array, return answer. The only possible triplet does not sum up to blank. Okay, and we want stuff to add up to 0. Got it. So paint. So this is gonna be let's say we have, oh wait, and they said the numbers are not unique, right? The indices are all distinct. Yeah, they did not say the numbers are all distinct. Okay, so let's say we have -2, sorry about that, 2, -1, 0, 1, 2. These are the items in the array. Did they say we're always going to get 3 items in the array? Yes, we're always going to get at least 3 items, up to a bunch of them. Numbers can be negative or positive. Okay, so what's going to happen is our least case, sorry, I'm just getting something off screen there. Our least case scenario is going to be 0, 1, or 3 items, right? Let's say 0, 0, 0. We're going to set the indice of 0 to I, indice of 1 to j, and indice of 2 to k. And then and so on and so forth. And then k is going to be less than, oh wait, sorry, I just realized I might be off screen a little bit here. Let's fix that by bringing this stuff over here. Or over to here, rather. Right, so yeah, so as I was saying, we have these 3 item array. These are the indices 0, 1, and 2, I, j, and k. K is going to be less than array dot length minus 1. J is going to be less than array dot length minus 2. And k is going to be greater than j. Same with j is greater than I. And this is array dot length minus 1, minus 2, and then I is going to be less than array dot length minus 3. So in this case, the length of this array is 3. So this is going to be 2, 1, and 0. 3 minus 3 is 0, so I guess less than or equal to for all of these. Yeah. All right, so that gives us our framework for looping through the arrays. Like if the value array at these points equals 0, we're gonna put that into an array, let like temp or something equal this array. We'll do temp dot sort, and like if like the thing or temp is not included in the overall array, which we're calling answers, then we're going to push it into it. So let's set up that nested for loop. Okay, so let answer equal blah. Okay, and we're taking in nums. So like we are saying for loop. For let I equals 0, I can be less than nums dot length minus 3, and we said less than or equal to, and then we're going to increment it I plus plus. Then inside of here we're going to have like the same thing almost, and then inside of there we're going to have almost the same thing again. We're going to make sure to come down here and close our parentheses. Okay, Control Shift F for our formatting. Okay, let's see that if we're inside frame. Hopefully, I guess. Feel free to chat if not, or let me, move it over so that's a little better. Okay, so now in this second one, this is the one where we're targeting J. The innermost one here, we're targeting K. Okay. And it's interesting that they said n squared. This that I'm currently writing is going to end us up with n cubed complexity. I'm thinking like what if what they did was like have one for loop with I and the other somewhere else that does J and K above the values, but like I'm just gonna nest it this way, like have our brute force solution go through, hopefully, and then take a look at the hints and see what they're saying. But yeah, as we were saying, J is gonna start at position 1, K is gonna start at position 2. This is nums.length minus 2, this is nums.length minus 1. Yeah, incrementing, and then actually, I'm gonna set these a little differently so that way, like, they're always dependent on the ones before them. So this one I'm gonna say I plus 1, and this one I'm gonna say J plus 1. That way it's, like, gonna set itself up properly. And, like, whenever this one increments, it'll, like, automatically increment the other one, so, like, nothing is stepping on anything else's toes. Okay. Oops. So what do we have here? Less than or equal to such and such. Awesome. Set up. Okay. Let temp array, so I'll put that in here. Let temp array. Or wait, no, like an array like that. Okay, so all right, awesome. So if I plus j plus k equals 0, put those in some parentheses, and then what are we going to have as a result of this if statement? Then we're going to say I mean, technically we don't need to have temp as an array here. We can have it like here. And then we'll put, or wait, I, J, and K. So, I'm gonna just set some variables up so that way it's like a little easier to reference. Let 1 equals nums of I, let 2 equal nums of J, let 3 equal nums of K. So that way here we can say if 1 plus 2 plus 3 equal this, then we'll have temp and we'll put the values in. So like 1, 2, 3. And then we'll sort this array. and then we'll check if this array exists in answer. So if not, we'll put this array in. So like if, and like I'm pretty sure it's contains, but like answer dot contains temp. Oops. Right, so like if the answer does not contain this, then we're gonna say answer dot push. Okay, so we have this array of these items. If these items are equal to 0, and if it's not included in the answer array, we'll push it into there. And yeah, at the end of the problem, we'll return that answer array. So let's see if that runs as expected. Okay, might be includes. I always get these mixed up between JavaScript and Python. It's funny because it's like, yeah, it's right, it's just not right. So let's see, that's interesting because that means this clause is not working. I guess, like something about this include statement is not working. If the answer does not include temp, I wonder if it's saying like it doesn't include this value of temp, but well, because it is sorted. So I guess the other thing we could do is we could push them all in here, and then we could set it as a set here. Let answer equals set, and let's put in answer previously. Right, so then like we're gonna make a set out of whatever we had there. It's not the most like efficient way to do it, but like, all right, output copy map is not a function. It does not like this way of doing it. I guess the other thing we could do is like set it as a set from the beginning. Let answer equal new set. And then I'm pretty sure push isn't the right word anymore, but I'm just gonna run it and see. Yeah, set.push. So I think it's, is it set.add or like set dot? Maybe, let's think as we go. All right, let's check our lovely notes here. Although I guess the point of putting in our reps in doing this is to try to know it without needing to check, but we are where we are. So let's take a look at set. Okay, so set.add. Ugh, why did I think it was that? Wait, but this didn't work. Set.add item. Output copy.map. I wonder if, did I run it properly? No. That's weird. Like, is it not an array? I wonder what's going on. I guess it's like a dictionary item, so, okay. But like, I'm wondering why the includes thing didn't work, actually. Let's check our notes here. Includes. Multiple arguments given, includes the first up to and excluding the last. One argument starts from the beginning. Array.includes, search item, returns true or false. So like if array.includes temp, this would be true. So then this would happen, but if not this, I wonder if I'm like missing some parentheses or something. Or if this is coming up the other way than I'm expecting. Because I'm like, let's do a console log, see what we're getting. console log duplicate. Yeah, and like actually let me do this as like an if and else. And then put this pushing in the else with the console log of new. Yeah, because I'm like wanting to see what's going on in the infinite wisdom of this problem. How I'm doing it. Oh, it thinks they're all new. So interesting. And they're the same order too. Okay, let's do this. Let's console log temp and answer. See, so the different colors means that it thinks these are two separate arrays, even though they match another one in there. So, like, what's the best way to do this? While searching by value, I wonder if any of the hints will help with that. O of n cubed, yeah, that's definitely what we're doing here. Can you think of an algo? After sorting the input array, we can observe by rearranging the given equation in the problem. Well, it's giving two-pointer, but I'm not sure how to... Yeah, okay. Negative of these things and see if they equal each other. Making negative nums I equals j plus k. For each index I, we should calculate j plus k without duplicates. Which algo is suitable to finding j and k pairs? I mean, aside from two-pointer? I don't see that. Yeah. Oh, interesting. J at k, like, j and k going in opposite directions. Else, if the current sum is bigger than the target, we should decrease the value of the current sum by decrementing k. I wonder why we wouldn't decrement I. And the current sum is a target, add this pair to the result. We can move j or k pointer until j is bigger than k and the pairs are repeated. I'm just gonna try to get the O of n cubed solution working, because it's like I like to finish what I start, and then I can come back to the more mathsy approach. Alright, I'm gonna have to look it up how to like make a set out of an array. See if it's a thing. Oh my gosh, I think I totally tried to do that. Maybe it's the fact that I like renamed an existing variable. Let like set equal new set of answer. Yeah. Oops. Oh wait, no, I'm supposed to return set. My bad. I'm gonna call this answer set because it looks like set there is like a proper variable, you know, proper noun type variable for some reason. What in the world? Ooh, I like this one. Okay, let's try that. Array is array dot from that set. Wondering if it's because like they want it as an array coming out, an array of arrays. Yeah, that is like straight up not working, huh? All right, instead of temp here, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3 dot sort and see if that helps out. It's like see if those values are already in there. No, jeez. Like wondering if anyone has the brute force approach that I can check against. And also like -1, 0, 1, -1. Oh, you know what might be a better idea for this? Like, instead of like passing this full thing in, like let's amend that to be a set first of all, and then pass it into here. So like let adjusted input equal new set nums from nums, and then instead of nums here and everywhere else really, this would, or actually, yeah, because it'll pass it in as nums, that's fine. So let's change all of these to be adjusted input. Okay, that should at least fix our duplicates problem. Oh, I guess unless it has like 3 zeros, it'll fix our duplicates problem. So let's make that little guard case here. If nums equals this, turn the array of nums. This little guard clause right there, and then the rest should be okay. And also, like, I don't think this is working, but I really want a console log for adjusted input, just to see what's going on with that. Okay. Okay, so then I think here what we need to do is do that whole array dot from thing. Yeah, and then now we have a nice, yeah, one of these. Great. Okay, so array from this is our starting array. Oh, did this have, no, 1, 0, 1. Okay, and then -1, -1, 2. Actually, this will not work for having an array from the set because here -1, -1, and 2 actually do like meet the requirements we need, so Okay, I'm just gonna undo our way back out from there. Oops. Back to here. All right, I'm gonna take a quick information download break to see if we can't figure this out with the n cubed solution, and then come back and also try the n squared solution. So BRB. Okay, we are back and better than ever. So let's try again as we do here at Try Again Dev. So thing one that we're gonna try to do is get all the duplicates out of this array, and then we're gonna try it again, the ideal approach with the 2 pointers. Okay, so like this answers array sometimes has duplicates, right? That's what we found. So let's for loop through, see if for each item that, like if the item equals the next item, we're gonna remove the current item. Oops, excuse me. So yeah, let's say, I'm like, how do we take something out of an array? Is it like splice? Array sorting, number sorting. Pop returns the last element, stacks. Splitting an array. Oh, excuse me. I guess you could just make a new array and like push the item in if it doesn't equal the item before it. So like let's set array equal new array, and then there's 4 in loops and 4 of loops. 4 of oh darn, I didn't have it in here. Let's see. So I think 4 in does the index and 4 of does the anything else. So like for let item of answer if item equals set array at the last position continue, else we're gonna say set array dot push. Okay, and then let's try returning this set array. Let's try that. I want to console log this, or wait, this is the output. Yeah, I still want to console log whatever's going on in here. Console log item. Just check. Console logging something else somewhere else. That would be this. That would be this, which is not working, but like honestly, because this isn't working, I'm just gonna remove it. So it's like, what's the point of having code that, you know, makes our life harder if it doesn't work? Like something's going on here. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so yeah, we're letting this set array. Oh, I think I'm outside of the function. That will do it in terms of things that aren't supposed to happen. I'm like astounded that this ran, considering that there's so much stuff it doesn't like here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. So let's say array.push item. I want to see item and here I want to see these 2 things. So item and set array -1. I've seen -1 before as like a shortcut to the last thing. Yeah, I've not seen it work often. So let's say set array -1. Yeah, maybe it's like a different language or something like that. So yeah, these don't equal each other. These do. Oh, this isn't in order either way. Okay, so I guess I also need to sort the answer array. Answer array, or answer dot sort, and then this could maybe have a chance of working. Yeah, like these aren't equal, these are actually, so it should work. Let item of answer. Maybe if item 0 equals this 0, 1, like if all 3 values are equal to each other, then let's, like, we got ourselves a match, right? But let's see if it'll accept that as a way of doing this. So I'm gonna say if not set array. Let's try this. Okay. Oh, okay, wait. So the fact that I'm doing the set array -1 is what's tripping it here and giving us undefined all over the place. So instead of -1, it should be set array.length -1. Okay. Sorry, I was just like piecing that bit together. So sorry for the silence. Okay, so this one, instead of a continue, should be pushing in the first item, and then we can actually run the comparison. Okay, great. Okay, thank God. We finally figured it out. This is the version that does, I wish we could word wrap a little better here. Let's see if I can do this so that if you're looking at the code, you can actually see it all. Okay, so this is what we've got for right now. We have our for loop that does O of n cubed, and then this is our situation here that pushes in the first item. If our answer, like first of all, we have to sort the answer array. Then if the answer that we're currently looking at is in the array, like the values are the same, then we don't put it in. If it's not, then we do put it in. So this is kind of our like brute force approach situation. In that super long break that I took earlier, I did take a look at the more optimal solutions. And so I'm gonna try real quick, not real quick, but I'm gonna try to have us like think through what they're saying and write it ourselves truly. So one of the things that was said was like it's n squared, it relies on sorting. So it's like truly in time complexity of n log n, which is our sorting algorithm, times n. So like we're also going through n times. So like when you distribute this, n is the like biggest coefficient, if you will. So like the log n fades away, so that's how you get n squared. So it's funny because when I heard O of n squared, I would have never thought of like doing that algorithm by first sorting stuff. But that said, what they do is like, so let's say we have that same example from earlier, like -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so similar to the other one, we start with the I being the least valued item. We start with, here's where it gets different. J is like I plus 1 at like the minimum. So it's like J is going to be bigger than or equal to I plus 1. And K actually starts at length minus 1, which is like this last value. So it's like -1, or 2, 1, excuse me, -1, and like 3. Actually, for this example, let me put in some duplicate numbers here so that way we can see. Oops, okay, that's ginormous, but like we will work with it. That's funny. All right. Here, so this is n squared, just to put back what we have. Let's say -1, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here j is going to be this one, and k is going to be length minus 1. So like, let's say we started with these values, right? -2, -1, and 3. When we add those together, that equals 0, right? So we'll add that to the like list. And then when we're incrementing j, like if j equals j plus 1, then we'll like double increment it. So like if j plus 1 equals j, then we'll like just go straight over. If k, as we're decrementing k, if k minus 1 equals k, then we'll like decrement again. And then what was interesting that they also did was they put the like these into a while loop, which it's like almost recursive and always interesting to, and like in my opinion, right? But you know, they say practice makes progress or practice makes permanent. So by practicing, you know, with these while loops and stuff, that's how we get better at stuff like this. So yeah, let's give this a try as we still have a bit of time in this work block. And as a quick reminder, I always advocate for like, you know, not overworking yourself. So like definitely if you're struggling with something for more than 15 minutes, it's a good time to like do some research. If you're like, I usually work in 50-minute time blocks with 10-minute breaks and like 3 and then take a longer break. So yeah, just a bit about me and a bit about like how not to burn out during this process if you're following along, doing your own LeetCode stuff, etc. So anyway, yeah, so like big important thing here that we have to sort this. I think this is the like biggest part where if you like me hadn't watched this video, because even like knowing this is a 2-pointer problem without like having seen it, not even having thought about it, without having seen it, it's like really almost impossible to think of like, oh, I should sort this first, you know? So, and that's like looking at the hints and everything. So anyway, so like let nums equal, or I guess let's just sort it. So it's like nums equals nums dot sort. And like you could just write nums.sort. I just personally don't love that syntax. Anyway, so, and like same as we had before, like if at our farthest over case, this is j here, this is k, this would be length minus 1, this would be length minus 2, this would be length minus 3. So that's like the highest value I can get up to. But if you want to do like a less than instead of a less than or equal to, it'd be less, excuse me, than this value, which is I minus 2. So like let's do that outer while loop. So let I also just like to have a holder. So like let answer equal this and then return answer. Like that way I'm knowing that like I am returning what we need to with our inputs, outputs, big O, everything like that. So for another for loop, let lit though, for real. If only it were Friday, not Monday. Let I equal 0. Oops, 0. I is going to be less than, we said, minus 1, minus 2. Length for nums dot length minus 2. And we're going to increment I on each situation or round. Okay. Can't remember what they were here. I guess maybe that like j equals I plus 1 and like k equals nums dot length minus 1. Yeah, so then, and then of course these while loops usually have while j is less than k, so that this is what really gives us that 2-pointer look. Although like I kind of wonder about my submission, whether I did have something like that, or where's my submission here? Let's see. Yeah, I guess I did have that as like a value or whatever, so kind of like the brute force plus in my opinion, but you know. The difference though is that like this one doesn't account for like if the values are the same when incrementing j and k versus the one that AlgoJS does that we're patterning this current one based off of. They do include that as a contingency, so I think that's what matters. But yeah, like as we know, on each like rep here going up, or like repetition of the for loop, we add 1 to I or whatever. So I think out here they did like if I equals I plus 1, like, or if I equals I plus 1, then we like double increment it. At the end, maybe here. Oops. So like if I equals I plus 1, or like I guess both of these would be nums I, nums, oops, what's that? Yeah. So like, and then with our brackets here, like if I equals the next value, then we like can increment it twice, I guess. So like I'm like here, if we were to take one of those giant erasers again, wherever those are. Hello, giant eraser. Okay, so just to clean this up here. Okay, so let's say we just did this one I, this would have been j, and this would be k, right? Like, and then so -1 plus -1 is -2, here 3, k would come down to here, now we have k here. So this is like a solution, we add it to our set, -1, -1, 2, right? So like now I would increment actually j and k would keep doing their thing, right? Because it's like we had j and k here, but like j is still not more than k yet, so I guess this would come over. And then this is -1, so this would come over. And then, yeah, then we'd also add, so like we had -1, -1, 2. We'd also add like -1, 0, 1. But then now, okay, gonna come back to our chunk eraser here. Great, okay. So like we technically did all the things with I here. So like if I equals I plus 1, like we should keep incrementing I until I does not equal I plus 1 and then like go to there. So I think, I'm not 1000% sure here, but I think what we do in this case is like increment I and then let it increment I again. So like, but I'm like, how do we keep this going until maybe like a while loop, like another while loop, while nums I equals nums I plus 1, I plus plus. Yeah, I guess that'll do it as well. And then like we'll increment all the way until we're like here. Like we'll increment from here to here, and then at the end of this loop we'll go to the next I, which puts us there. Okay, great. So that's that edge case. So we have while j is less than k, like let's look at some of what we were saying. So j starts as I plus 1, like nums I plus 1. K is num's length. Yeah, and then same as the last one, I want to have our 1, 2, and 3 counts just so that like I know our positions or like the values. So like let 1 equal nums at I, let 2 equal nums at j, and let 3 equal nums at k. Okay, so like while j is less than k, so that means like while we're doing what we're doing here. So we start, all right, let's walk through and write our code as we're going. So we have I here, j here, k here. Okay, so if these three values are less than target, which is 0, I think. Yeah, okay. So if 1 plus 2 plus 3 are less than, or if they equal the target, or which is 0, then we'll do answer dot push, and then an array of 1, 2, 3. Great. All right, that's that case. If, or I'm gonna just do a little sneaky copy paste here, but like if these values are less than 0, so if we're weighted further on this side, then j's got to increment j plus plus, and if we're greater than 0, 1 plus, oops, 2 plus 3 bigger than 0, oops, we're going to decrement k. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm like wanting to just see how we do here, like if we're missing anything. Okay, so I gotta put let in these two places, and I just hold down Alt and click when I want to click multiple things at once. It's like a VS Code trick. But you gotta be careful with some of that stuff because sometimes if you're coding in like IDs for interviews, they like do not help at all. CodeBunk is an example of that. It just like does not help at all, which can be hard to get used to. Okay, so something is going on for sure. Well, I mean, I am one for debugging live, so I like want to see where we get through, especially if the code is like dying at some point. Oh no. That's funny. Okay. Um, okay, let's see if it's something going on with that while loop because, I have a theory that there's something going on with that while loop and I want to test it, so. Hmm. Okay, I mean, if I had to guess, there's got to be something going on with this while loop because that's the only place that I could see this tripping over itself. Um, yeah, okay. So here I want to console log nums to make sure we had sorted properly. Oh, okay. If that's a JavaScript sort if I've ever seen it, because pretty much what it's doing is sorting by characters. -4 should be the least, so we have to like do a proper sort here. So like let sorted or nums honestly equal. I mean, kind of want to do the arrow function, but I'm not really great at writing those honestly. Um, okay, if I were to write an arrow function, I think it would be something like this. This arrow to or a, b, and then here a minus b. And then I think it's like nums dot map ab over to a minus b. And what's going on here? I'm gonna look it up because I rarely do this and it's great practice. Sort. Oh boy, trees, graphs, sorting, loops, insertion sort. I'm like, this is not really what I want to be doing. But yeah, array dot map and then the function. Okay, so like nums dot map and then the function. So maybe this all needs to be out here. And then let's console log. Um, so yeah, this is saying like for each item, console log it or like reorder it in like descending or like least to greatest order. And it should like the built-in sort function does these out of place sometimes. So let's see if this is better. Oh yeah, okay, except let's go back to our good old-fashioned what is going on list. Sort function, filling arrays trick, loops, yeah. Array sorting, dot sort first, array dot sort. Okay, okay. Function array dot sort, function a b, return b a minus b. Okay. Maybe because I didn't have the return. I supposed to have it in parentheses? Yeah, or like the function situation. Brackets, I should say. Okay, looking out for nums. This isn't right either, because -1, 0, it should be like -4, like whatever, so. Function a, b, return b minus a. Maybe instead of not dot map, it's dot sort. Yeah, okay. God, wow. All right. Okay, so yeah, here we have 4, -1, 2, which is cool. Then we increment I, -1, -1, 2, okay. -1, 0, 2, okay. Like, I wonder if which one moved for that, but yeah, so pretty much this while loop is gonna slow down I from incrementing, right? So like what's going on here is like this is I, this is J, this is K, then this is I, this is J, this is K. So like instead of like doing the slower increments here with the while loop, that's what we don't have yet. But yeah, at the end of the situation or the round, we increment this. So like the reason for this is so that like here we can double increment ourselves. Let's see if that works. And the reason why I'm looking for that is because like, yeah, good. So like when we get this or like -1 here, 0, 1, we want to go straight from here to here, or else then we'll get another like duplicated -1, 0, 1 situation. So like that works, which is great. And then let's see if we can get this bit working, which is kind of our last little bit there. Okay, and that is breaking things, so. All right, we're gonna take a cheeky little break here. Excuse me, which I always advocate for, so I'm just gonna practice what I preach real quick, and we'll be back very shortly to try to bring it on home. Hello, welcome back. All right, if you're here on this journey, thank you. What we're gonna do now is continue fighting through this problem. What I'd like to do is console log the values we're currently looking at, and then, yeah, I think that'd be helpful. Like the positions. Yeah, because like we know this little loop here works, so like let's see what's going on up here. Oh yeah, I forgot about this, the fact that it's like not working. Okay, let's first off make these dependent on each other. So like here and here, let's open some brackets, here and here, let's close some brackets, and then let's make these else ifs. So that way they're like a bit more reliant on each other. And like, you know, if I think of it as like those little games you played as a kid with the like balls and the round things where you're trying to like put the ball in the hole, like it's gonna have to fall into one of these categories, so. Okay, for some reason this while loop is not working. But like, let's think about why. So if these three things like equal 0, we push it into the answer array, and then what do we want to do? Increment something, decrement something. Well, in this specific case, if this is ijk, then you can't move such that like without incrementing j. So like this should be answer.push blah, and it should also have like an incrementing of j. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Much better. So like for some reason in my infinite wisdom I was like, oh yeah, let's look at I, j, and k. Like, and now I'm looking at them and I like have no idea what to make of this 2, 2, 5. I'm like, is our output what we're expecting it to be? No? Okay. -1, 2, -1, 2, -1, 2. Okay, so we increment j. -4, -1, 2. Where's the first console log? Okay. Here. Y. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So let me do this console log again at the end here. So, oops. So that we can like see a bit more clearly what's going on here. Okay. Rightio. So here's our overall array. Sorted correctly. So we have this. Kind of confused about why this is returning like 4 separate times. Well, let's see. So if we're at -1 minus, we're like on the lower side. So we're saying 1 plus 2 plus 3 is less than 1, so j plus plus. So then we move to here. So I'm kind of like thinking about making some like other if statements, kind of like how we're doing this one. But like if nums k equals nums k minus 1. Oops. Then like k minus minus here and k minus minus there. Same thing here, like except for like if this, and then I'll reverse that to being plus plus again with this like here. This. So then like we double increment it if it's the same, kind of like we are doing in the while loop below. Yeah, let's try that. No. Maybe if we did this in a while loop, like how the other one. Oh, there's a lot of while loops. Stubborn question, huh? So I'm just commenting out this first console log and not that one, but just so that it's like a little clearer of what's going on. Although I suppose it's useful to have one outside the loop, but let's just see where we are. So these are bringing us into this if block, j plus plus. Like maybe we should add a continue so that we kind of break out of these loops. So it's like it returns us to the top of the while loop. So we're only evaluating each, series or whatever once. Okay. So I'm just gonna take this console log and like put it here. So that way every time we run the while loop we see what we're looking at. Same thing, that's funny. All right. So like this here is gonna be less than 0. So we're gonna increment j. And then these equal or expecting, so it put it in there like 3 times, which is ridiculous, but one problem at a time, is what I like to say. Okay, so -1, -1, 0, 1. It's funny though, because here it's saying that we're looking at 0 and 1 and stuff, but like the 1, 2, 3 that we're console logging is still the same positions. Okay. I think it's just about time for us to look at a solution, because one of the things I always say is like, if it's been like 15 minutes and you can't figure it out, it's worth, you know, getting a second opinion. So I'm gonna take my own advice on that one. Oh god, okay, left pointer, right pointer. Okay, so we did the sort function properly. After getting help, that's okay. They have a res, like response, where we have answer. Okay, okay, I guess it's less than the memsot length, so it's gonna go all the way over. If num's I is bigger than 0, break. Okay, that makes sense. If I is less than, if I is bigger than 0, nums I equals nums I minus 1, like go to the next loop. Let left equals I plus 1. Oh god, okay. Let right. Oh god, okay, so L is J essentially, and R is K essentially. So while J minus K or L minus R, sum of these things, if these things are less than 0, okay. So yeah, if sum is bigger than 0, sum is these things. Great. Nums these things, which we have called 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So if sum is bigger than 0, our decrement, which is this one, okay, so this was right the first time, and it looks like we don't actually need to continue. Or else if, yeah, sum is less than 0, okay, we increment that one. Great. Continue, sure. Since it's like the else if, like it should automatically tie these all together. Else, okay, I guess they put the else statement last, so like if they all equal each other, then we increment. Oh my gosh, I forgot to decrement the other one. Oh man, okay. Yeah, so that would be our issue here. So we forgot to decrement K here, because like we want to do both. Yeah. Res.push blah, do this, okay, while, oh yeah, here's where they had their secondary case. So like if J, oh wait, if L minus, if L is less than R, okay, and nums L is the same as nums L minus 1, then L plus plus. L minus 1. So like if this is the same as the one before it, because like, okay, this is I, J, K, or K would be over here, let's say, be 2. This is I and J, and this is K. So this wouldn't be there, this would go up. So like, let's say we're here, I, J, and then this is K. So then we're in this situation, res.push, nums I, nums J, L, I, J, K in our case. So we'll move J up, so J is there. We'll move K down, so K is here. And if nums L, which is this one, is the same as nums L minus 1, we increment it again. Interesting. So then I guess here, this one, I don't understand though why this is a minus there and not a plus, but I do understand the fact that I missed the fact that this needed to increment. So yeah. See if this is successful, and if not, we'll have to change around the order. Yeah, a bit. That's okay. So do. And I guess the strict equals is something else I was missing. Oh, but this order is wrong here as well. Let's see, this is the one we're following. It's like not the first time in the solution here this has happened, huh? All right, let's try that on for size. LR, LRI. I guess we don't need this. Like, not sure what else could possibly be wrong or different here, but oh, wait, so they put these cases up top here, and we don't have that. So if I is bigger than 0 and nums I is nums I minus 1. Oh, okay. So like they put that same while case up at the top instead of down at the bottom. That makes more sense. Okay. But like, yeah, if the value here is bigger than 0, then we can't possibly go down if our array is sorted. So that makes sense also. And I forgot or didn't add that in my original. So, you know, life's about learning. Nums I is bigger than 0, break. And if I is bigger than 0 and nums I is the same as nums I minus 1, then continue. I guess that's the same thing as what we're doing here. Except in this case we continue, and in this case we increment j. Well, I mean, this continue increments I because it just goes to the top of the for loop, but yeah. Okay, well, we're missing something still. That's okay. One thing at a time. L++, L is j in our case, decrement r or k, increment this, answer.push, these things, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I guess it's an array, yeah, okay. Nums I, nums j, nums k. Else if these things are less than 0, we increment this. If these things are bigger than 0, we decrement that. Okay. I'm like trying to make sure to match the signs less than, greater than in variables. But yeah, k is nums dot length minus 1. J is I plus 1. This one, break. I wonder if these make a difference. I don't think so. Oh, they're also going all the way to nums dot length. They don't care about the space for these. Interesting. Okay. because sometimes it's just like, how many times am I gonna run through this before I get it? Sometimes it's like that though. Okay, a bit of different diction here. Wonder if it makes a difference. I don't think so. It's good to get the practice reps in though. Like, does this work? Is this the right language? Say it's the solution, just double checking. Okay, for I equals 0, I is less than nums.length, increment I. If nums I is bigger than 0, break. If I is less than 0 and nums I is equal to nums I minus 1, we continue. J or L, I plus 1, K or R, nums length minus 1. Okay, and then I did my little situation there. Actually, if I'm gonna have this be this sich, then I need this to be in this while loop, because if it's outside the while loop, it's not doing what we need it to do. Yeah. Okay. Well, that has been Troubleshooting with Jay. As always, we try again until we get something to run. Thank you for joining with Try Again Dev. Till next time, keep trying again.